Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. And with me is Nico chewing on a quail feather, and Elle, who's watching him intently as he chews on a feather while sitting on packing paper, making little rattling noises. At some point, it'll probably be too much for her, and she'll have to jump off my chair and steal that feather from him. But for now, the cats are playing, and they're having a good time. Welcome! I've recorded a lot of videos tonight. I've had a hard time coming up with content or a desire to read more than... I used to do 2 videos a night every night. And basically from about November on, especially right after the election, I just lost my drive and motivation for that. Getting 1 video up a day. I took a week off. Getting 1 video a day seemed about all I was really able to do. I guess I just needed a break. Also took time off over Christmas. Michelle and I are going on vacation in February for a week, going back up to Mendocino, and that's going to be fun. So just kind of recharging a little bit. But for tonight, for some reason, it's not because of the coffee. Maybe it is because of the coffee. I've recorded 3 videos already, and I'm ready to do a 4th one. I did a Jimmy Carter funeral one. I wanted to get that up on the night of the funeral. My Judge Mershon one is loading right now, and it should be up at 7:30. Yeah, I record this about 7:15 on Thursday the 9th. And then I've got a LA Fires spiritual meaning video coming up tonight at midnight. This reading, what I want to do on this reading is I want to read on Donald Trump's July 19th rally. It's not an inauguration, it's a rally. And folks were putting in my comments about Libby having done a reading on that, mentioned something about fire and things along those lines. Maybe she got a lot of wands with fire energy. I started listening to Libby's reading, and then I stopped because, and she had mentioned something in her reading too, that she has a lot of readers that she likes to listen to, but she has less and less time to listen to them. And I think she falls into the same category that we all do. After a while, you want to read on the subject before you hear other people's readings on it to see if your reading aligns with theirs. Otherwise, we can get into groupthink. Like if I listen to Lena and Marianne and Libby and Johnny and Linda G and Mel and Kevin and such, I could listen to 7 people, come up with things, and then I do mine. I'm going to probably try and fall within that group. So it would be nice to go outside of that. That's one thing to sort of take care of. And I've heard other readers say that, and after having started this channel and doing the readings, I totally get where they're coming from with this. Okay, that's point number 1. Point number 2, sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a long... I've had longer intros. Sorry, not sorry. So this reading's probably going to start about the 6 or 7 minute mark if you want to fast forward. Otherwise, you can just look at cats. I'll leave this down so you can look at cats. And she's such a unique cat too, huh? Yeah, you are. Oh, yeah. Here, touch the belly so I can bite you. The second thing that's interesting is the timing of this. He has scheduled a rally for the 19th of January. The inauguration is on the 20th of January. Why would you need to schedule a rally the day before your actual inauguration? I mean, his ego, what he needs to have 2 rallies. I mean, yeah, Donnie 2 scoops, and he'd have his 2 scoops of ice cream, but it doesn't make much sense. It's more the act of somebody who's worried about something, lacking confidence. You know what I mean? There she goes. Hello. And again, it's one of those things that it's kind of a minutia thing. It could mean nothing, but it could be a signal of everything. Gavin Newsom, in the end of December, after being questioned by, and I'm going to go through a litany of little steps. I don't do minutia. I know I constantly say that, but then I go straight to the minutia thing. I really like things very cut and dry. It's the scientist in me. I really like facts. Working on minutia is just like that's way too much gray. With Kamala Harris conceding the election so quickly. And you listen to the messaging of the Democrats. They conceded the election quickly. It's usually followed by, we accept the results and, we're not spoil sports. We lost, we can accept that. It's like a parent talking in a slightly patronizing way. Think of a parent that knows they're about to spring a trap on you and they're getting the messaging down to a child that doesn't really understand how this messaging thing works. It's like they're training the response. Back in November, we lost the election. We're going to accept the results. Nobody's going to challenge the election. We accept the results. During the vote counting, nobody challenged the election. Hakeem Jeffries, because we accept the results. Kamala Harris interviewed. I'm not challenging the election. I accept the results. Gavin Newsom was attacked. What's wrong with the Democrats? Why do they fail so badly? And he just had to bite my lip. I'll just tell you something. We're not through this yet. There's going to be more to come, but I can't talk about it right now. That type of thing. So there just seems like the Democrats are priming the Republicans and the American people that something is happening, such that when Trump doesn't get in, they could say, oh, remember all those times we said we accepted the results? This is just out of our hands, Darn. Who knew? Who knew that pesky Vladimir Putin was doing things, or whatever excuse they come up with to prevent Trump from getting into power. Okay? There seems to be a game afoot where they're going to try and prevent Trump from getting into power. How they're going to do it, it does not appear to be messaging through election interference. My brother and I have done readings on that. I've asked that a number of times, and it looked like they were maybe going to go that way, then they changed their mind. They went a different path. So I don't think that's what it's going to be. They're going to take a different path. Susan Lynn's done some great videos with other suggestions on that, on how they might get there. The other thing I want to throw out there, and again, there's, before the election, Trump's talking with Musk, saying, talk about how Venezuela is a great place and they have low crime, and if they lose the election, they should go to Venezuela. Why would Musk, who's never knowingly, that anybody here knows, is corrupted, committed any felonies, okay, so he's corrupted, he's a jerk, but, nothing that would get him into trouble. Why would he need to flee the country? Every accusation is a confession. And then, Trump and Mike Pence, we've got this secret. And it'll get us the White House, the Senate, and maybe even the House. And Libby did a reading on that one. I did listen to that one. That was great. So, there's these hints, because Trump he can't help himself. He spills the beans. So Trump implies that there's something wrong. Now, I also want to take you back to the 2020 election when he lost. Remember all the accusations. The Democrats stole it. We want to see the voting machines. There's vote flipping going on. They software. They did this. Trump is telling you what happened. That there is vote flipping going on, but it was for the Republicans. But they didn't dial it up enough to overcome all the voting for Biden. So Biden's victory was actually even bigger than what was reported, because they are cheating. And I've seen some of the data from the Clark County elections, and it's rather stark. You can see it in the 2020. It's beyond ridiculous in the 2024, because they had to turn the dial up from 7 to 11. They had to put it full blast, but not just 10. You had to go past 10 to 11. Spinal Tap for the win. To get him over, which it did, even got on the popular vote. But now when you look at the scatter plots of that data, oh lordy, is it obvious. It is really, really obvious. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, she's going for the feather he was chewing on. So you got that. Now you got this rally planned. Now somebody had said that he was out there saying that the Democrats are up to dirty tricks, and it's up to the GOP not to let them do it. I can't find anything in Truth Social. Maybe he said it at a rally, but I can't find anything on Truth Social about that. But that would be an interesting tell as well, because that would seem to indicate that he knows something's coming. Scheduling this rally tells me he knows something is coming, and that was part of Libby's message. I did listen to her a little bit. Kind of like the Ellipse rally on January 5th, the day before the electoral count. He wants to have another rally the day before the inauguration is supposed to happen. It's like he understands that something is afoot that's going to stop the January 20th inauguration. And he's trying to rally the troops to get them all worked up into a lather to fight for their country, or take it back, steal it back, or else there won't be anything left. And that's why I want to read on this January 19th. The timing doesn't make sense if he's being inaugurated on the 20th. It seems way more likely that he's trying to get the troops all riled up and ready to go. Okay? I don't know how well that's going to work, because a lot of those really, really easily riled up troops in the ultra faithful serve prison sentences, or are currently serving prison sentences for their participation 4 years ago. Once bitten, twice shy. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That type of thing. So much for an 8-minute intro. It's a 12-minute intro. But let's look at the energy around Trump's January 19th rally. What's going on with that? This will be for entertainment purposes only. Temperance. Trying to get people integrated. Here we go. Yeah, he's bringing people into the fold, bringing people into the camp. It's funny because this is detoxification. He's trying to toxify people. He's trying to get his supporters in there. He wants to toxify them. It could be that whatever information is going to prevent the inauguration, should that happen, is going to defang this rally, and he's trying to refang it. Cross with the Eight of Cups and the King of Wands. It's like Merrick Garland, or the head of the UN. There's this whole thing with the UN coming in. There's an authority figure coming in to try and detoxify this situation. This is something that's embarrassing to Trump. It's like he's emotionally being rejected. Emotionally going away. Now, I had this before. Hang on for a second to think of I had to think of where I had seen this card before. It's the Mike Johnson readings. And when they were trying to put Mike Johnson in as House Speaker, and all the cards were indicating that they didn't want him. They were going to send him packing. And then the day of the thing, it's like, oh no, he's going to get in, but they wanted to humiliate him. This is you're being emotionally rejected here. There's kind of that vibe that there's this rejection that's going on. It could be that whatever happens is starting to cure the poison, and as the poison gets cured, the cult leader needs to leave because he's going to lose control. But let's see what else is going on with this. In the past, you got the Ace of Pentacles. Most of his rallies are just a grift. Plus, it feeds his ego. They serve purposes in the past to show Trump's value to folks, but in some ways they're just bored. I don't think a lot of people are going to show up for it. Just like, and maybe this is just nothing more than he doesn't expect a lot of people to show up for his inauguration to stand outside in the cold, so he wants to have a pre-rally so that he could have his adoring fans inside where they'll show up and spend money type of thing. It could be something as simple as that. But the timing is just not right. Right? Hell, have it at Mar-a-Lago. It'd be nice and beautiful and warm. The Page of Pentacles. Just saying. Current situation is the Page of Pentacles. I don't know what this card means. I'm going to have to go to some tarot therapy session. This card traumatizes me. The Page of Pentacles is the current situation. It's just like his teeny tiny crowd sizes. He doesn't have a lot to offer. This might just be a coincidence that he's scheduling this thing. It's almost like he sees his star diminishing and he can't handle it. It literally is going to be about crowd sizes. Overarching energy is the Two of Wands, but it was planned in advance. It's kind of... There's something afoot here. There's something afoot here. There is something afoot. There's a plan that's going on here. Oh, God. This card's come up a lot. I've done a lot of Trump readings, and this card keeps coming up with it. Lesson be learned is the Devil card. There's something that's being toxified involving him in actions that he's done that are corrupt. Hello, Nico. Come up on the chair. He's hungry. He wants the foods. And Elle kicked him off his chair. So he wants attention. But usually he just wants foods. The lesson to be learned is the Devil card. The corruption. The corrupt acts that, he really wants to get to January 20th. Because if he can get in there, then he's the president. He thinks they won't be able to kick him out. And I think I think this is crowd sizes. He's trying to get people to show up. That's what's going on here. This is the plan, to get people to show up. But here you go. The thousands of people, the tens of thousands of people that showed up the last time, his teeny tiny crowd sizes. Now, the night before, they say it's going to be 20,000. He's booked the place that can seat 20,000. And that, all 20,000 tickets are spoken for. Well, TikTok showed that you can reserve tickets and not show up. The lesson to the outcome is the Page of Cups. This is MAGA. MAGA showing up. But are they going to drink deep from this cup, given what happened the last time? I don't think they will. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to have to... The rally is not going to... I don't think it's going to be the big tour de force or show of force that Trump wants it to be. This isn't going to work out the way he wants it to. Kind of like, forcing Mike Johnson to be the Speaker of the House so that the vote counting doesn't get delayed, so that the inauguration doesn't get delayed. Well, congratulations. You skip past that. But now you got Mike Johnson as a speaker, and he's feeble. So you may have won the battle, but that's not going to help you win the war. If anything, it's going to work against you. This rally he thinks is going to work for him. I don't think it's going to work for him. It's going to be a little bit humiliating, I think, for him. For Carter, is it going to be... For Carter, will Trump be underwhelmed by the crowd? Or will the crowd size... I shouldn't ask how Trump feels, because everything's the biggest, brightest, shiniest, best unprecedented thing ever. But is the crowd size going to be small? I won't ask if he'd be disappointed. I don't know how to frame people's expectations or their disappointments and stuff like that. But, is the crowd size going to be small? The enthusiasm dampened? Is this not going to have the energy that he wants to see from, 2017? King of Cups. Normally a Biden card. Let's see where we go with this. Planning, conspiracies, working in the background, opening day, government, Two of Wands. That was the overarching energy. By the time this thing happens, Biden may have already unveiled what the plan is involving the government and, secrets, conspiracies, spying, dark information. By the 19th, this might have already been sprung with more to come. Which is why this card was the overarching energy and the underlying energy for Biden. There's a connection here with something Biden is about to institute. Now, this is supposed to be about Biden leaving and the new government coming in, but things are dark. it's like the new government, I don't know. This could very well be that Biden's supposed to leave, but he doesn't. Something's afoot, man. And again, this is that, if you're a betting person, I don't recommend betting. If you're a betting person, it's just simpler to bet that, on January 20th, Trump is going to get inaugurated. That is just the simplest thing to bet on, because it's what's happened for all the other presidents. And being that there's not a lot of information out there saying anything different is going to happen, if anything, the Democrats saying, oh, we accept the election, you think it's going to happen. But there's just so much. My spider sense is tingling, and I don't like it because there's nothing obvious, which really sets you up for a fall. And I think the problem is that, to me, it gives false hope. And I don't want to give you false hope. But the reason why I want to give you some hope, false or not, is that there's a lot of subtle things happening out there that seem to indicate that there are some people knowing that something is going to drop. And even Trump just going off on Greenland and the Panama Canal and Mexico and Canada and all these things. It's just like there's like this anxiety waiting for this shoe to drop. Having the California wildfires has been great for him, because he could just dump his anxiety on vile comments about Gavin Newsom. But it's like a binky. It's just a little pacifier to keep him busy for a few days. But is Trump nervous? Let's look at his energy. Is Trump nervous? What's Trump's energy like as we get closer to January 20th? Is he anxious? Is he nervous? Is he confident? Is he sleeping at night? What's going on with this? 7 of Wands. He's fighting. He wants to fight. Does he have an enemy to fight? Normally you're fighting from high ground, but I don't know if he's fighting from the high ground, because a lot of the stuff he's saying is crazy sauce. So I don't think he's fighting from a position of strength. People are finding out about him, and things are changing quickly. About theft. 2 of Wands again. Okay, so right after the Page of Pentacles is this card. As we get closer to the 20th, he's going to start fighting more and more, because something's coming out quickly that he can't stop. He can't control. People are going to find out about the theft. And there's more to come. All right. This will probably be something that I read on multiple times before the inauguration day. But does this energy, this 2 of Wands energy, the theft, all of this, does this involve Russian interference in worldwide elections? Because look at the players, too, who are pushing back against Trump. You got the Prime Minister from Germany, or the Chancellor from Germany. You've got the Prime Minister from the President from France is pushing back. You've got Trudeau and company in Canada pushing back. The leader of Mexico is pushing back. Nobody's scared or intimidated by Trump. There's a lot of pushback on his buffoonery. Now you've also got the election interference in Romania. The Germans have basically said the Russians are interfering with their election. France has said the Russians have interfered with their election. So there's a lot of this Russian interference that's being messaged. It's a low messaging in the background, but it's setting the table that if it's announced that it happened here, which we've already had a DNI report saying that Russia and Iran tried to influence our election, hence sanctions. You're building a foundation of election interference from Russia and Iran, and what are you going to put on top of it? And who's going to put it there? Is NATO messaging from NATO about a Russian election interference part of the Two of Wands? Is that part of what might happen on January 20th or before? The Page of Swords. Spying in the camp. They have intelligence information. Let's see if it's sharing. You got the Chariot. It's been collected. It's going to be moving forward. Whoo, that's a great card there. Look at 2 major arcana and the Justice card underneath there. Heartbreak and betrayal. And the Page of Pentacles is small crowd sizes. There's going to be information coming out about spies or the intelligence agencies involving actions of Trump's or something along those lines. This is justice, like the world court type of thing. And it's something that's going to keep going forward. It's an absolute betrayal. Now, one of the things that we talked about was, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden returning, before Christmas, canceling their vacation plans and coming back to Washington, D.C. And I think some readers speculated that, ever since Trump's been in the White House, they've been giving him duplicate, or intelligence where it's not exactly accurate, and then they can monitor to see if that intelligence goes out there. I think Linda G is championing that, and like they know that they've given him stuff, and it's made it out to people it shouldn't have gotten to, and the only person who had that information would have been Trump. So it's like there's like this big shoe is going to be dropping, and it seems intelligence related. Okay, again, don't go betting the mortgage. Don't go betting the farm on this. Don't go to Vegas and take odds and bet the farm on this, because there's free will choices that you and I don't have on this one. I don't get to make the call, nor do you. Joe Biden gets to make the call on this. And the odds are much more likely that Trump is going to get inaugurated into office. But there's a lot of energy going around here that suggests that there's shenanigans going on and that may not happen. And they've dropped a lot of hints for those paying attention. This is aggravating. Again, this is the 9th. We've got 11 days. And maybe we don't hear anything for a week. My nerves are shot with this. I have been just really anxious over the last few weeks. And as much as I try to say I'm accepting of this, I really don't want to be. So I want something to happen, but this literally is shooting when you see the white of their eyes. Playing a game of chicken and dodging at the last second. And, you're in the passenger seat or the rear seat. You're not behind the wheel driving. Biden's behind the wheel driving with his foot on the accelerator pedal, and the other car's crashing towards us. Who's going to duck out of the way first? You can scream, you can tell Biden what you want him to do, but in the end of the day, he's the one driving. It's out of our hands. We're just along for the ride. Why did we do this? This is not the e-ticket ride that I want to be on. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. We'll see what happens. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.